it's Ken with Ken's Creations. Well, I'm sure you're like me, and every once in a while you have little kiddos come into your craft room and they want to make crafts with you. And it's great and it's fun, but every once in a while you just need to get your project done. Well, I found something you can do with your Cricut Explore, which is actually lots of fun. You can have them make a coloring page, and then while you're doing your crafts, they can color it. So what I've done is you can actually take a marker and create these cute coloring pages using your Cricut Explore. And you can actually use SVG files, or you can use just the Cricut files. And I use the Crayola fine tip markers, and you just basically do the outline. I'm going to show you how to do it. So I did this one, and then they can color it in just like that. So it's a really cool technique, real easy to do, real fun. And while they are creating this, they're going to watch the machine do the outline, and then as soon as it is done, you let it dry a few minutes, and then they can go color it while you do your crafts. So let me show you how to do this so you can have fun with the little kiddos in your craft room, and you can get your craft job done. All right, let's go ahead and open up Design Space. Once you've reached the Design Space Launchpad, I'm going to always have you do the first thing, which is log into your Cricut.com account. And this is really important because if you are part of the Cricut subscription plan, which I hope you are, this is going to give you access to all of the Cricut image library, which is really important because if you have a kiddo and they're looking through all these images and they want to do a coloring page, they're going to pick that one image that you don't have. So if you're part of the subscription plan, you might have that image. Once you've logged in, you're going to go ahead and come up to File, and we're going to go ahead and start a new project. Now at this point you have a couple different options. You can either insert an image from the Cricut image library, or you can upload an image, which is an SVG file. And I'm going to show you both of them, but we're going to start with the Cricut Images. So I'm going to hit Insert Image, and I'm just going to go ahead and go for the Create a Critter heart here, just for time purposes. Now, when you have found your image, you're going to go ahead and size the image to whatever size you would like it to be, or whatever size paper you're working with. I am working with an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that it's going to fit on the size of paper. So I'm going to make it a width of 8 inches, let's say. Once you've sized your image, you're going to go back to the layers, and you're going to click on each of these little images and change it to the writing function. And it really doesn't matter what color you pick because I'm going to be using a certain specific pen. So you're just going to change these all to the writing feature. Now the last one is always the shadow feature, and Cricut has always put a line through the eyeball, which means they blacked that out or hidden that, which is fine because we're not going to be using that layer. So we're just going to go ahead and keep that hidden. Now, you're going to notice that we have a double line here, and a lot of your images are going to have that, or you're going to have lines crossing each other, or you might have a scarf like on the penguin that is crossing other lines. So you might have to go and get rid of some layers, and that's what we're going to do right now. So what we need to do is we need to go ahead and ungroup our images and get rid of some layers we don't need. So I'm going to go ahead and move this heart out of the way and move this other heart out of the way. And as you can see, this heart here, I really don't need. It's an additional layer that if I was cutting with paper, I would need, but for this purpose, I don't need, so I can get rid of it. Now here, I do need this heart layer because it has the eyeballs and it's got the smiley face. However, if I move it back here, you're going to see I still have a double line. To get rid of that double line, we're going to go ahead and hit the contour option. We're going to go ahead and click the outer line and then hit the contour option again. And that gets rid of that heart. It leaves our eyeballs and our smiley face, and now we can just move that back into our little heart here. Now we're ready to regroup this item by drawing a box around the entire heart. We're going to hit Group, and then we need to go ahead and hit a draw box around the entire item and hit attach. Now you're going to see your lines go from very thick lines down to very thin lines. At this point, if you wanted to move stuff around, you still could by hitting your box, hitting detach, and I can then still kind of move stuff around. But it's very important when you are ready to go on your project, you have to draw a box on it and hit attach. That is very important, okay? All right, so once we are ready to go, we need to go ahead and come up here, hit go. We're going to see it go to our mat. We're going to hit go. We're going to see on our screen to go ahead and put the pin in. And when we put the pin in, well, first we need to load our mat, but when we put our pin in, that is when we want to follow our screen instructions, and that's when it will start to draw on the paper. But let's go ahead and show you what it looks like on the machine. So for the coloring pages, I use the Crayola fine tip markers. They dry fast, number one. Number two, they are inexpensive right now. Most places have them for $1 because of back to school. And number three, they don't stain. So if a kid's doing them, they're non-toxic, they're great. Now when I place them in my Cricut Explore, I lift up on the carriage here, as you can see. I place them in until I hear it click. And then I close my carriage. And that is how I place the pin in. Pretty easy, but the thing that most people don't do is lift up. And that can do a lot of damage to your machine. So make sure you lift up, place it, close it. All right, so now that that's in, we can go ahead and place the paper in. So I've already loaded my mat. My pen is ready to go, so I'm just going to hit the go button. And my pen is going to start doing my coloring page. So there it is drawing the outline of my coloring page. And I love the Crayola marker because it does such a great job on the outline. It really does look like a coloring page. And there it is, everyone. There is how to make a coloring page using a Cricut library image. So let's go ahead and show you how we can do the same thing with an SVG image, how to make a coloring page. All right, everyone, so I am back to show you how to do the SVG version of a coloring page. The Cricut image was super easy, like I told you it was, so SVG is pretty easy as well. I'm going to go ahead and go to Upload Image. Now, the image I'm working with, I've already uploaded. If you've never uploaded an image before, it's super easy. You're just going to come up to Vector Upload, hit Browse, and I'm using the Monster Ink exclusive set from PPBN Designs, and it's right here. So I'm just going to double click on the design I want, and then I would save the image. And I'm going to go ahead and bring that image into session here. And in the beginning of the video, I showed you Soli, Boo, and I actually did a Mike Wachowski as well. Mike Wachowski. So I'm going to go ahead and do this for you. So I'm going to be getting rid of a ton of these because she actually groups all of her sets together. So I'm going to be doing Soli for you. So I'm going to get rid of every piece I don't need. So let's get rid of everything but the Soli pieces. And then I can just kind of group in. Now, once again, you can get rid of anything you don't need. So we don't need this middle piece here. That would just be extra noise because I already have his outline here and I have his outline of his dots here. So I don't need that. I already have his outline here of his horns. So I don't need his horns. I don't need these eyeballs because I have his eyeballs here and they'll go in there. I do need both of these, but I don't need any of this stuff. So I'm going to be needing this piece, this, and these pieces. And then anything else is extra noise. So I can shadow out anything else extra. Sometimes in Cricut Design Space, as you can see, there's these little tiny boxes that come through. I just block them out or get rid of them. All right, so we can now, what I do first is I go ahead and group these items together and then I resize it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm not too worried right now on making sure everything looks perfect. I'm more worried about just getting it grouped together because I'm going to end up moving some stuff around once I get him sized. Oh, look at his eyes right now. Look how funny he looks. All right, so I'm going to group him right now. Now, once again, I'm going to draw this on 8.5 by 11. So his height, I'm going to go ahead and do at 8 inches. Oh, his eyes look really deranged. How funny. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and go into layers. And once again, I'm going to go to each layer and I'm going to change it to writing. All right, now we're going to kind of go ahead and move things around. Now, the one thing I've learned is I go ahead and at this point, I go ahead and attach it. And the reason why is you're going to see your lines go very thin and it's easier to move your stuff around and get everything lined up. And that's just in my opinion. Now I can go ahead and move stuff around and get everything lined up. So I'm going to go ahead and now move my images where I need to. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a box around it. And now we're going to go ahead, detach. And now we can move things around and make sure it's all lined up. And you just want to minimize any overlapping of lines on SVGs. So let's go ahead and do his mouth. We actually don't need that other mouth like I thought we did. We can just do this mouth. So we can get rid of this mouth here. And now his eyes. And that looks pretty good. So now we're going to draw a box around Sully. We're going to group him, draw a box around Sully again, and we're going to attach him. So as you saw in the beginning, there was tons of pieces with Sully, and all of it was just noise. So I just recommend kind of going through the pieces and seeing what you need to make it look like. You're just looking for an outline. Remember, it's a coloring page. You just want a basic outline of this character. So once you just decide that, yes, this looks good, we're just going to hit go. It's going to go ahead and get it going. Oh, there he is. And it should say draw, not cut, which it does. You're going to hit go. It's going to tell you to load your mat. You're going to go ahead and put your pen in like I showed you earlier in the video. And then we're going to press go. So once again, let's go ahead and go over to the video of watching the machine do this. Okay, we have the paper in. We are ready to go. And it's off, drawn Sully. Now I've done PPBN files, I've done Scrappy Doo files, I've done Cricut image files, so I've done a ton of different files. So I know this works with almost all files that I've done it with. And I let it dry about 5 minutes and I've had great success. and the crayons didn't bleed. So, so far so good, and I just love this, you guys. It's so much fun, and how fun is it to let someone come in, make a coloring page, and color it right there while you're doing your craft project. It's just a fun little idea. Plus, they get to use your craft machine, they get to use your Cricut Explore. It's just an awesome idea. I love it. Alright everyone, there is an SVG file of Soli coloring page. So everyone, I hope you enjoyed how to make coloring pages for your little friends while you're in your craft room. It is so easy to make Cricut image ones, very easy to make SVG ones. Here is Boo, one of my favorites, little Mike Wachowski. And then, of course, the colored version once it's all done. Just a little mental note, or a little side note. I guess not mental. But I use 120-pound cardstock on the white because I've noticed little kids can get a little aggressive when they're coloring. And I was using cheaper cardstock, and they had a tendency to rip it. So I started using heavier cardstock to draw on it, and I used, like I said, the Crayola fine tip block markers, and they worked amazing. So I hope this gave you guys some cool ideas on how to make coloring pages using your Cricut Explore SVG files and the Cricut cartridge library. Make sure you guys are getting the subscription. That's going to open up thousands of images that you can make coloring pages for. Imagine all the fun possibilities you can have with fun kiddos and heck even adults, and making coloring books and coloring pages, and just how much fun this could be. So anyways, make sure you guys are following my blog over at www.creativeken.blogspot.com. Make sure you guys are subscribing to my blog to make sure you get all of these Cricut Explorer tips and fun ideas that are coming your way, coming every single day. Make sure you guys are following my Twitter account. Make sure you're following my Pinterest account. Make sure you're following Ken every place on the internet that you can. Alright, thank you so much for watching today's fun video. I love every single one of you. I adore every single one of you. Oh, make sure you subscribe. If you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please share it with everyone. Leave lots of comments. And don't forget, go out there and make something magical. Alright, thanks guys. Bye.